Welcome to the Crystal Men. I'm Jim.
And I'm Tom. And we're finally in the same room, which is amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh, incredible.
So, the first real episode, first canonical episode recording now. We are a Steven Universe rewatch podcast. We watch every episode. Some have said, why are you watching every single episode and doing a 40-minute episode on each? Is it too much?
The minute-to-minute conversion is intense, but you know what? That's how we roll.
Oh, I just had a thought. I wonder how much time
it'll take for someone to
watch all of ours once we finish
beginning to end. I mean, geez, how many episodes were there?
I think it's 100 and something.
So times 40.
Yeah. All right. So not to get off topic too quickly, we are talking about episode 14 of season 1, also known as Lars and the Cool Kids.
Yes, and we just finished watching it, and you know what? This is one I definitely remembered.
Me too.
Going back into it, for some reason it was very vivid. Lars, he's just.
Sorry to cut in. There's 129 episodes of Steven Universe.
Well, buckle in, everyone.
But yeah, I really like this episode. I really enjoy the dynamic between Steven and Lars in this one. I think it's really good. It's really funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the classic, as much as I like to hate on Lars in this episode, everybody's felt that before, where, you're desperately trying to fit in and it's just not working because it's just making you more awkward. Me personally, I have definitely done that, as a child, and adult. But no, you get too much in your mind about, wanting to hang out with people or worried about what they're going to say or stuff like that. Then you're like, I'm just putting my foot in my mouth the whole time.
Yeah, there is that moment, halfway in, where Lars keeps trying to gel with them and keeps failing. And that really, it just was super relatable. That was the thing. What I like about this episode, and I think they kind of go into it more later, because at first I was like, oh, Steven's going to try and hang out with the cool kids. And I remember when I was younger, because I used to work at a pizza place.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Funny little tangent. When I was 11, I worked at a pizza place.
Wait. What pizza place hired you at age 11?
The pizza place that my uncle owned.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, my cousin also worked too. He was a pizza boy. I was in the
pizza man.
I was actually initially a host and a busboy, and then I was a dishwasher for a whole summer. But where was the story going? Oh, so all of my coworkers were older teens. I was literally Steven's age basically. When this was happening, and all of my coworkers were late teens. Okay. And so it always felt weird hanging out with them, but I also felt really cool to hang out with older kids.
I totally know that feeling. I mean, when I was younger too, a couple of my friends had older siblings, and it was always if we get to hang out with them today, we're getting the high, we're getting the adult stuff when they're 2 years older than us.
Yeah, and it feels really important though.
It does, and I even felt that way with my sister too, because she's 2 years older than me. So when I was younger, I'm what's she doing? I mean, it was different because sister versus random friends.
Yeah,
but
they have to be around you.
Well, that's what so in this episode, I enjoyed that the cool kids legitimately enjoy being around Steven, which is super fun and refreshing and turning it around on its head.
Yeah, it's such a heartwarming thing to see Steven be accepted by, because normally and as a kid I had times where there were older kids that what
are you doing, kid? Loser punk.
Yeah, and it can be really upsetting, but it's really fun to see Steven gel with them and so what's the one guy's name? Buck?
Buck is he's the
cool
Buck Dewey.
Whenever I think of cool, I always think of him. He is the funny stereotypical image of a cool guy.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, he compliments Steven on his shirt, and it's aw, yeah. I like it.
It's sweet, and then even sour cream when when he's I'm just saying that to make myself sound cool, and then he just gave Steven the respect. I don't know. It was very heartwarming on Steven's end, and very relatably cringy on
Lars.
Lars's
Oh,
end.
yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Very relatable from, like, putting yourself in Lars' place, because how many times in my life have I done exactly what he does and felt exactly how he's feeling? Especially, I love his, initially, so, let's just, like, jump into the recap, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we start this episode, the gems are in some, like, water ravine, which later we find out is called Dead Man.
Dead Man's Mouth? Or no, Dead Man's...
Yeah, I think Dead Man's Mouth, or Dead Mouth Watering Hole,
Dead
whatever.
Mouth 5.
Dead Mouth 5.
My favorite band, Dead Mouth 5.
And they're dealing with, so it's a moss that Rose Quartz planted that is growing out of control, and it's apparently growing towards this hill.
Okay, like a couple things right off the bat. I mean, Pearl explains, well, first off, Pearl, you kind of get a glimpse into Pearl, like, idealizing, Rose Quartz.
Yeah.
Like, she was very, like, oh, Rose used to do this, and she started smiling, and then...
Everything she touches is precious, and, like...
You can, I mean, like, it's starting to develop into that, like, I am obsessed with you. Very, just little
hints,
little tidbits here, but, I just don't understand. The gems knew exactly what the moss is and what it is trying to do.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just put it on the top of the hill?
Yeah, unless I'm just, like, missing something. But it really feels like we could have skipped a step and just, like, grabbed it and brought it.
Especially because, like, if it covers them, who cares? They don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Like, they could just, I don't know. Just seems like an easy solution.
I agree.
But I do love Pearl's whole bit with
the weird, like, kung fu poses. Yeah, I totally forgot about this.
I did too. That was great.
It's
that
really
was a good
weird.
joke.
Yeah, and then it comes out, it's just the police tape. Yeah, and then they just police tape, this is another funny thing that, like, just knowing the title and seeing what they're doing, it's like, oh, if we put police tape up, then no one will come here. All humans will just ignore this because they're not supposed to. And, like, human nature is not to ignore. When you see police tape, you say, okay, I'm going to investigate.
Well, that's the beauty of it. The gems are so out of touch at this point with humans until Steven, teaches them about humanity, which I love that they wind up having courses on human tech and human interaction, like, in homeschool in the future. Like, it shows just that humans were just a thing that lived on this planet of theirs, And
now it's like they're trying to integrate.
Yeah, with the humans as opposed to, like, all of the old crystal gems were probably just like, these things were smashing sticks together and then...
Yeah, they literally saw... That is, like, crazy to think that, like, they literally saw, like, all of human development.
Yeah, just happen at once.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, they were, like, tribal when the gems were there.
Yeah.
So.
But so, the scene hilariously wraps up with Steven saying, all right, let's go get lunch. And it's just like, all right, I'm the only one that eats lunch, so I'm going to go alone. And then he heads over to, what is it called? Fish stew pizza?
Fish stew pizza.
That's something that, like, just doesn't make any sense to me.
Fish stew pizza? It's delicious. You wouldn't have any fish stew pizza?
It just feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a pun or anything. It's just, like, this, like, specific, and I don't know if, like, shit, I don't want to fuck up, but the
Too late.
Oh, shit. What are they called? What is that family called that owns it?
Oh, that one. Oh,
it's like Kiki and Jenny.
Oh my god, what's their last name?
I'm gonna look it up really quick so I don't seem like an idiot. I don't know if maybe because I know that the grandmother Nanafwa is inspired by.
Isn't it just Kiki Fwa then?
Maybe. This is terrible podcasting. But okay, so I know that Nanafwa is. This is just not helpful.
She's
Kiki Pizza. Their name is literally Pizza.
No.
Their name is literally Pizza.
It can't be.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Also, I totally forgot Kiki wasn't in this one. I thought Kiki and her sister were
No,
together.
it was only... Was it Nana?
Wait, hold on.
To the phone.
I thought her name was Jenny.
It is Jenny, isn't it?
But she... Yeah.
Why did I say Nana?
Nana. Well, Nanafwa.
Yeah.
But so, what I wanted to say, yeah, Jenny Pizza.
Okay.
Oh, it's your twin. Okay, interesting. And then Kofi is the father.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure Nanafwa is their
grandmother.
Grandma, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I know Nanafaw is inspired by Ian Jones Quartey's great grandmother or grandmother, who this is where I didn't want to fuck up. She's from like Liberia, I believe, and she actually designed the Liberian flag. Like, this is a real fact.
Wow,
like,
wait, really?
Yeah. Ian Jones Quartey's grandmother or great grandmother actually designed the flag for Liberia. Which is crazy. I want to check to see if it actually is Liberia, because otherwise I'm going to sound terrible.
Well, I mean, I thought there was only books in Liberia, not flags.
Wait, what?
It's a terrible library joke.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, no. Nanafaw Pizza. Okay, yeah.
What? They're really just called Pizza, huh?
Yep, their name's Pizza. Oh shit, damn it. I should have maybe...
Is Lars's last name Donut? What is Lars's last name?
It's probably something stupid like Anderson or something. Alright, this is I need to... we need to move on. So, yeah, fun fact about that. I'm pretty sure it's Liberia. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. I don't want to... I'm trying not to guess, but...
Lars Barraga, or Barraga?
Barraga?
Yeah, apparently.
Interesting. Okay, so Steven is with Lars, and Lars is trying to impress these cool kids who are Buck Dewey, who's Mayor Dewey's son.
Yes.
Sour Cream, who is
Onions.
Vidalia's?
Yes.
Vidalia's, and what's the father's name? It's another, like, onion pun.
This is the first father.
Oh, fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, because Onion is his half-brother.
Shit, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so he's Onion's half-brother. He's also voiced by Brian Posehn.
Yes.
Who is, I remember finding him, the first time I ever found him was in the Sarah Silverman show. Which I know it's...
Really? That's the first time?
Yeah, he played one of her neighbors or friends.
Yeah, he played wasn't he one of the gay couple?
Yes.
Yeah.
I forget who the other guy was, but, yes. So that was... He's really funny. His deadpan delivery is
he has a great delivery.
I love Sour Cream a lot, actually. I love his design.
I loved him in this episode especially too. He had a lot of good things going on. But yeah, I do love his design.
And then we have Jenny Pizza.
Yeah.
Jenny
Pizza.
I'm trying to remember there's one episode that I can't wait to get to where there's like I think it's her and Steven get trapped in like a pizza world or something. I think it's Jenny Pizza. It's either Jenny or Kiki. Is it Kiki? Okay.
Yeah, she keeps dreaming about pizzas because Jenny keeps like shifting her shifts onto her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess what they're kind of going with is like Kiki is more of like the pizza daughter.
Yeah, like the studious pizza daughter, and Jenny's kind of the
more like free spirit, like lackadaisical.
Yeah. But I love Steven's just willingness to go up and talk to strangers, because that is something that took me so long in life to like... Yeah. To just be comfortable... Not even be comfortable, just to understand.
I'm still not comfortable doing it.
I am so much better with that now. Like, before I would freak out and like be super nervous, but now I'm just like, hey, person, like, how are you? Like, let's talk. Tell me your life story. And I love it, because people are so willing to talk, and like...
They are, like, honestly.
Like 95% of people, are like so just friendly and like nice when you go to talk to them, and it's just pleasant.
And yeah, Tom, you are a just ray of sunshine. So anytime you have so much like positive, what's the word? Like extrovert energy. I think a lot of times when you're in gatherings like that, I think it can like bridge the gap between.
I appreciate that. My thing is because I definitely. In like middle school and probably like early high school, I was not that way. It wasn't until like
your moody goth phase.
Yeah, after I got over my moody goth, I was like, I just want friends. No, so like I feel that with a lot of people. So like a lot of times I'll try to make an effort. I don't know why I keep looking at this screen. It's showing I don't know. Nothing.
It's funny. We're not used to doing this. In person,
know I'm not
so
like. Do I look at your eyes? I mean, they're beautiful, but.
Yeah, no, I do the thing where sometimes I'm looking in the corner, sometimes I look back, sometimes I look at the screen, which is just a screenshot of the episode. Not even, it's like a thumbnail, whatever.
It's like...
because normally what I do is I'll put the episode on in the background just so I have something to like remind me, which I will do now. So it's less awkward.
Not a bad idea.
But
yeah, to finish that thought, so I always try to like talk to people who are kind of on the shyer side when in groups, because like, I know that a lot of people don't have that, like, extroverted energy, and I don't know. I feel like it goes a long way to talk to someone who's being shy without being, like, an asshole. I'm like, oh, why aren't you talking, or anything like that.
No, totally.
Just be a person.
It's those small social interactions that really help bridge the gap between groups of people, and like
just break down that like uncomfortableness level.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of on the opposite end. I'm more of like the Lars in this situation rather than the Steven, which is something I've tried to work towards. And like, I think when I went abroad, that was when I really started to open up more. But I feel like this is kind of weird. I feel like in my life I've had a lot of like physically larger guy friends who have always kind of been that first person to like initiate, and then we become really good friends. Like it's really funny. It has happened several times. Like I know very many tall guys that are very friendly and extroverted. I think that kind of comes along with being a really tall person too.
Yeah,
because you're so already like there. You're so much there.
I will say though, like I feel like when people start to talk to you, like you're very easy to talk to and like hold a conversation with.
Oh, me?
Yeah, so I think it just kind of takes one like.
Thank you.
Like one hello, and then like once you get talking, it's like, oh, like I'm just fascinated to listen. You have so much like to say. I love it.
That's the problem. I have too much to say, and this is the funny part though. Is like I always feel like I'm talking, like I go too far into something, and then it's like, oh no, I'm starting to lose everyone. No one cares about what I'm saying. I need to abort.
Oh, see, no. Meanwhile, I'm like, like this is just all things, like all interesting things.
All right, Tom, I'm going to talk to you about Splatoon. I'm just looking around my room, random things.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Oh,
Let's
no.
go.
We would actually have a conversation about that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
So, yeah, the episode.
Steven Universe. When are we going to kiss? God. Just... All right, like, let's cut the shit. Oh, God. All right, so...
I'm going to tell your girlfriend.
Oh, she'll be like, I get it. Steven Universe, they are in the car after Steven goes to talk to them because that's all it took, and he's like, hey, we're going for a drive, and Lars is like, I love when Steven's talking to them and Lars is so embarrassed. He's like, you ass, I hate you.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like a train wreck almost. Like from Lars' point of view, like you're watching this train wreck in slow motion and you can't do anything. It's just happening.
Lars is a bit of a tool though. I mean,
He is, and I think that's part of his arc, and that's why I really like I think they fumble him a little bit sometimes in Steven Universe, but I like that Lars is how he is, and like I know we keep talking about that Sadie episode, but I like that a lot, and like kind of how it affects him and how he changes, and of course at the end of the series he's like totally different, like he's
much better, but
he has like a whole purpose in life now, and he becomes basically a Starjammer from X-Men. If you're familiar with the X-Men.
I do, yeah. That's very true. But now, I like that it doesn't just like happen in 3 episodes either. It's not until like really the end of the season. I mean, and when he like end of the series. I mean, when he dies and then comes back, that like he really starts to change. I guess I think it was getting a purpose. Yeah,
yeah. I think it's like. He's just stuck in this really boring job. And this is something that I guess is like pretty, I guess he is like a year-round worker. Like he lives in Beach City, so it's not like this is like a seasonal job.
Yeah, he's stuck in a dead-end job in an otherwise pretty empty city.
And then like his friends are all excelling. Like Sadie becomes like a cool like musician and like...
Yeah, cool.
There's like Steven. I'm using cool in quotes. Yeah. Steven becomes like
magical
Steven
superhero.
Steven becomes a magical girl basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I really like that about Lars. I like that he gets that.
Yeah, I'm glad they give him that because
there are a lot of other characters that don't get.
Yeah.
In Steven Universe, like, I mean, not necessarily that everyone needs to, but it's a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah. Well, that's such a big point with... I keep going back to Future, but it's just easy to compare, like, this episode present to the future. I love when they all wind up leaving Beach City, basically, like, to do their own stuff. And
Steven can't get over it. I really like that episode, actually.
It was such a good way to be like, I mean, these people do have lives, and, like, they are moving on and progressing, so... Except, I don't know if Sour Cream is just working at the skating ring.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know what
is there,
is.
isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe he's just like a DJ, so he just does like
everything.
gigs around town.
Probably.
But so yeah, basically like we kind of already talked about the some of the jokes when they're in the car, but I like the little seatbelt thing where Lars and this is really funny. I think it's like a big generational thing. Like
yes, this is definitely Lars is trying for that like 80s 90s trope of like, oh, like I'm the cool kids in these movies, whereas like the actual cool kids are, you know, pretty modern forward thinking kids. Like
this is kind of like I can really relate to this from my own high school experience because I remember being a kid in the 90s and like it's like, oh, bad boy, like, oh, smoke, not that I smoked, but like
cigarette in the car,
like fuck rules. And then when I was in high school, all of my friends, I was friends with a lot of like these people, but like all of like the popular kids were like the nerds, and not nerds as in like I like Star Wars. Like they were like the top 10 ranked kids in the class. Like which is weird. I don't know if this is like maybe it was just that point in time. Maybe I was completely detached and I just didn't know who the actual cool kids were. But to me, I feel like, I don't know, maybe you're a year ahead of me, so maybe it's a little different for you.
Our high school was, like, super big.
Yeah.
Just for reference, I mean, like, my graduating class was, I think it was 800.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Ours was almost 700.
Yeah. It was, so, it kind of got to the point where there wasn't, like, those 5 cool kids, you know? Because there were so many people that there was just splinter groups, and, like, these kids that are all popular in one group have nothing to do with these other people.
Exactly, yeah.
So, like, it really became the popular people in, like, your own circle, which I think it was. I mean, like...
That's really true, actually. I can kind of... And we kind of have a little overlap between our circle, but we didn't really meet until after high school.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Funny enough.
But so... And even in that, like, there's definitely the people who were like... Oh, Andre. Oh, he's pretty cool. Or,
yeah,
like,
exactly. Like, in those own groups. But, and I will say, like, the top 10... kids in our school definitely like had their own circles like around them. Like it was very noticeable just because I think like that academic side really latched onto that.
And then again, maybe I was completely just in the wrong circle, and by wrong I mean like the nerdy ones. I was but yeah, I don't know, not to go too much on this,
but it's just interesting to see these kids, you know, defy the tropes of you know, the classically understood cool kid.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because Lars is just,
Yeah, it just shows how his, like...
out of touch.
Yeah, his conceptions of what this is just are totally not aligned with reality.
Yeah. And I think it's just... And it's also... Nobody wants that fakeness, too.
Yeah.
Like, Steven in this whole episode of just being sincere and pure and, like, himself, you know, good or bad, but they like it. Whereas Lars is trying to contour to what he thinks they would like, which never works.
No, yeah. That's, like... That is, like, the easiest way to get in a position that you're just fucked. Like, if you pretend to like something and then people are like... Oh, yeah, so you like their first album or their second album? And they're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's so much easier to just be yourself. And then if somebody doesn't like you, like, fuck them. Who cares?
That's true.
Just move on to the next. Like, if they don't like you, who you are, then you probably shouldn't be friends with them because then it would just be miserable.
But yeah. Okay. Very, very much agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they end up going to the lake. They totally disregard all of the police tape because they are teenagers.
Course, yeah.
And of course they get attacked by the moss and a very dark scene. Like,
yeah, again, another one of those, like, I forgot how many scenes in early Steven universe were very, like, just fucked.
It makes the stakes feel really high.
Yeah, like, first off, they should have been dead. Like,
yeah, they should have.
Because they were gasping for air when they were covered by the moss. And then they were covered by the moss for, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
it was a long-ass drive. Yeah, the one scene I think is the most, like, scary is when... So the teens emerge. It's the 3 teens. Like, Lars and Steven are fine,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, because Steven does the whole, don't go, Lars.
Yeah, which is hilarious. But so they emerge, and then they all are cocooned in this... moss, and as they're ripping the moss away from Jenny's face, she's gasping for air, and it's like kind of it is a little scary, like, because it's not about like the imagery being too scary, but it's imagining
it's
the
adult, the fridge horror kind of. I don't know, like that's not the right trope, but the just thinking about it. I mean, again, they should have died. Like they were not able to breathe by that logic for minutes.
I like the way that because they all jump into the water and then the moss surrounds them.
Yeah.
And the way that Jenny's pulled under is particularly scary because the other two just kind of get yanked under, but she gets like wrapped around in tentacle vines and then yanked under, and it's a little like, oh, whoa,
yeah, like,
fuck.
What are you doing? Whoa. This isn't my harem.
Lars in the cool harem.
Yes.
Mostly men. It's one girl, mostly men. It's like a reverse harem, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a funny joke?
I have no funny... I'm like... Oh, I was trying to be like, what would be a funny play on words? Nothing. Going back to the horrifying aspect of things, during that scene, too, I love the interaction between Lars and Steven, where, like, Lars says, this is all your mother's fault.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is the first time you see Steve... I think this is the first time in the series you see him get mad.
Yeah.
Like
legitimately mad. Because there's been times where he's, like, yelling at, like, the
when
monsters in, like, the first episode, and...
when he's trying to, like, rip off the thing, sure, like, from Meatbeat. But this is the first time that he is upset with somebody and, like, lashes out at Lars, which I love. I loved that moment when I first watched it, because I'm like, oh, like, this is good character development for Steven. Like, you could tell that him not having his mom has affected him, like...
Yeah, I don't know who to attribute these things to, because obviously Rebecca Sugar is, like, the series creator, but there's a lot of these little moments in the first season. Like, there's this one, which is a real standout, and the one that I always think of is when Amethyst shapeshifts into Rose Quartz.
Oh my god.
And there's these, like, little nuggets of, like, trauma. And trauma is something that we brought up before, and it's, like, brought up by the series, but just these really, like, pointed... They feel, like, real. Like, it feels like it's tapping into a very real emotion.
It's so easy to, like, discuss trauma and, like, you know, have the characters talk about it. That's one thing, but to actually show it, like...
Yeah, it feels fucked up when you're watching it.
Exactly. It feels fucked up, and, like, to show that... It's so much easier, it's so much better to show than tell.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you could have Steven, like, talk for 2 minutes about how he was traumatized, which is all well and good, but showing, like, that...
Seeing it.
Shape-shifting. Like,
I know.
Because just the implications behind all of that was... And seeing, like, Greg, like, get, you know, like, freaked out.
Yeah.
Like,
damn, that is, like... I remember that was one of those, like, early moments where I was like, this show is doing something different. Like,
yeah.
That was a... Like, that scene... Thinking about the scene now still makes me feel weird.
Same.
In a good way.
Yeah, because it's... I don't know. It said so much with so little.
Yeah.
But,
And it's just like, this is something that should so clearly be off limits that Amethyst doesn't even understand what she's doing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this scene, going back to this scene, like, the bit that really gets me is where Steven says, like, you can't say these things about my mother. I don't even know my mother. Yeah. And it's like, oh.
How dare you? Oh. I never even got to meet her. Oh.
Yeah.
That...
It's a gut punch. It really hurts.
It was a gut punch moment, definitely. And then I like that, like, Lars did kind of back off after that. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he realized he may have gone too far, because for the rest of the episode, he's pretty much, like, on Steven's side of things. Like, they get in the car, they drive the moss to the north, they kind of have that moment of, like, yeah, we're doing it. And then they get up there, and, like, Lars was willing to, it was the first time in the episode that he was going to tell the truth to them and say that it was Steven, which I think was a nice little show of character development. Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even get that till you pointed that out to me now.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, in the moment, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's nice, but I didn't realize, like, oh shit, this is him actually opening up, and then Steven, of course, saying, like, oh, it was Lars that drove us here, which isn't a lie.
Yeah, it's true, but
and it's also, like, he's being a good wingman for his bro.
Yeah. Which, Steven was a good wingman at the beginning, like, getting them to go on the ride together, but I guess he didn't really have any, like, responsibility to, like, hold Lars's hand through hanging out with this group, but
yeah,
he was just very much doing his own thing after that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's pretty much the episode. Like,
There's a few other little moments. So there's the moment that I really think is funny, and it's a little shitty, but it's also funny when Lars is about to be covered completely by the moss. And he has a moment where he's like, Steven, and it seems serious, and he's like, this sucks, and then he dies, basically.
I thought he was going to say, like, this is your fault at first. So I'm glad he just said, this sucks.
Yeah, maybe that is a pretty good compromise for his character. Yeah. Having him just complain.
Because he didn't blame Steven at the end. He just said, this sucks. But, That's
actually, I feel like I would say that. Like, I would get really angry. If I was in this situation, I would probably be really mad and say it sucks too.
Yeah. Well, I think I would just scream. Definitely don't want to get suffocated to death. It's definitely on my top 10 lists of ways not to die.
It's a list I will not share with anyone.
Yes, that I will not give you that power except for suffocation.
Where is it on the list? I don't know.
I'll never tell.
But yeah, good episode. I really enjoyed this one.
Very little gems. I think, I mean, aside from that first minute, no gems.
Yeah. There's a lot of, as I said, a lot of little details. I like what actually ends up saving them is the sun comes out.
Yeah.
And they're on the hill.
Oh, and the beautiful, like, I just love that pink, like that sunset pink color they do for everything. It's so gorgeous.
Steven uses a lot of pinks, and they always use really good pinks.
Yeah, like to great effect. Like, great shades, great combinations.
I also like how the episode kind of takes this, like, it has very, like, muted colors for most of it until, like, that very last shot. And it feels, like, really earned. Like, it's this really well-placed moment. And I love the flowers, too.
Oh, yeah, with the little gem on the inside.
Quartz inside them.
That is a very good point. They spend, like, the majority of the moss moments, especially, with these muted colors. And even before that, too. Because... It makes the payoff that much more worth it. Like, it's easy to go from, like, a sunny scene to, like, oh, this beautiful sunset, too, but it was very good contrast.
One thing that I like, too, is, the Beach City scenes are a little more colorful here. We're, like, scrubbing through right now and looking. Yeah. But I do like how Beach City is mostly muted, because it's, obviously, it's mostly background shots that we see Beach City in. There's never, like, actually animated. But they use a lot of muted colors in that, and it feels very natural to me, because, like, beach towns are always, like, sun bleached.
Yes, exactly.
So it feels weird when you see, like, really bright colors on, like, building. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense, like, unless it's that, like, one Wawa going to Ocean City that's, like, those 90s colors. But, yeah, no, they always make sure that Beach City is very, very muted, like you said. And it makes it feel much more like a Jersey tri-state beach town for sure. And
which we are technically kind of.
We don't mean to brag.
We're kind of part of it. I mean, if you really want the true Steven Universe experience, go to Rehoboth.
Yes.
Which, I was really fucking planning on taking a week, not like a midweek trip down to Delaware, but this fucking virus is just double take.
Now the travel bans.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't really checked.
Actually,
but
I don't know.
I know that some states are like banning interstate travel.
Yeah.
Or they're planning on that, which is just like. And I'm sorry, not to bring the harsh realities of the current moment into our Steven Universe podcast.
It just means that there's more time for them to listen to the podcast.
That's true. You're just trapped.
Consume crystal men.
Not literally.
What?
But yeah, I mean, TBH, not much else to say. I just really like this episode.
Yeah, it had good moments for Steven and really good moments for Lars. I mean, the first time that made Lars even, like, somewhat likable.
Yeah, for real.
Well, I do love him in Tiger Millionaire, too, but...
Yeah, but even in that episode, he's still kind of a shithead.
Yeah, he's a shithead, but that ending's picked... Oh, my God.
Actually, okay, so two things. I love the final bit where Steven goes for a high five with Lars, because that's something he's been trying to do, and Lars puts his hand on his chest, and then they do that, and it just feels like a really, like, warm moment.
Yeah, just like a nice... And then I do like the ending, too. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Even Lars, he can only handle so much.
and then they fuse.
Dude, we were robbed by not getting to see a
Yeah,
Steve
that
and
would've
Lars
been
fusion.
Perfect moment, and then the cool kids would have freaked out because they're like, "What the?" Again, they are pretty okay by the end with this whole moss thing happening. Like this magical consuming moss. They're just like, it happens. Like,
they seem to have all just blacked out and like forgotten where they were. Like they're just, and yeah, as you said, they're real fine.
Yeah. I mean, like even Lars was like, oh, your mom planted this. Like, does he acknowledge that Steven's mom is an alien? Like,
I mean, he would have to, like, he has to infer that there's something weird going on with this moss.
It kills me. I will talk about this every episode. They react normally to extraordinary circumstances. Oh.
So actually, so the other thing I have to say is, I was a little, I think going into these episodes, I had the expectation, initially, that the characters that we're seeing are going to be, like, frequent reoccurring characters. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we don't really see, quote unquote, the cool kids very often after this.
Yeah, like, they definitely have their moments. Like, there's still plenty of episodes that they're in. But,
and they're utilized separately sometimes, too, but...
Yeah, but there's no episode where, like... I mean, there's only a few episodes where them as a group, like, are the focus of that episode. But, that's okay. I kind of like that myself, that, like, they introduced these characters, now we know who they are, like, they gave them backstory, and then we just kind of see them in the world, like... Yeah. I don't know.
I agree, actually.
They're not interesting enough to, like, have in every episode, like, be, like, these main characters, like, so I think it's kind of perfect to, like, hey, like, we know them, like, cool, and, like, see Steven just kind of interact with them now that he's, quote-unquote friends with them.
Yeah, and, one thing I think is really smart, too, is that they're all connected to other characters.
Yes, there's these interacting relationships. Yeah. Like, I mean, even Buck, they gave, being Mayor Dewey's son.
And they even set up some stuff, too, about, like, how he's a distant father.
Yeah, they made, like, they made a point to show that, because Buck will get that episode where he is estranged from his father.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, when I say I thought they'd be in it more often, that's kind of a thing that I expected with a lot more. Like, Petey. I thought Petey was going to be in a lot more.
Yeah, Petey. I did think Petey was going to be in a lot more just because he was Steven's age and, like...
He's so close with him in that one episode.
Yeah, but I'm also so glad he's not.
Yeah. What can he really do with Petey? Like,
they make fries.
Yeah. They kind of, like, doomed him to his fate when he became just the fry boy. It was like, okay, this is your role in this town now. Like,
they made him unable to do anything. Well, he completed his arc in one episode.
Damn. If only I could. If only I could complete my whole arc in one episode.
Bro, then he got, like, 60 more years, 50, 70, who knows, to... Then you'd be, like, so bored, though. Like, you gotta have the arcs.
That's true. I guess I could hope for, like, a sequel series, like Steven Universe Future.
That's true. like, everything's great, but now it could be even better. Oh.
And I'm bigger now.
This has nothing to do with Steven Universe. Yeah. But me saying that reminded me of how much I hate High School Musical.
Really?
Because...
What's the connection?
Because... It's the first High School Musical, bad enough. He's like, God, I'm this star basketball player, but I also have this amazing voice. Whatever shall I do? I know I'll do both. Great. It ends with him being like, I could just do both. Who would have thought? Awful. Second movie. Going into the, like, my arc is complete.
Okay, yeah.
My new arc is, like, I have to work at this, like, super cool resort area, and I have to figure out if I'm going to get a scholarship for basketball or a scholarship for musicals. Oh no, whatever will I do? And I'm pretty sure at that point, I don't think I even watched past that, but I bet he got the scholarship for basketball and was like, and I'll just sing in college, that's fine. It's almost like you could do both. Fuck, I hate you, Zac Efron. I like you, Zac Efron. I hate... that your character wasn't.
I've seen literally 1 second of High School Musical, so
it is garbage.
I have no idea. I didn't even, like, this is gonna sound really stupid. I didn't even realize that, like, theater was an aspect of that movie and, like, singing.
in High School Musical.
This is how disconnected I literally took High School Musical at face value, and like all I knew is that he was a basketball player. Troy, is his name Troy?
Yeah. Oh, Troy. Yes.
That's it. That's all I know about High School Musical.
The first movie is the most egregious of it because it's literally he is this star basketball player, and then he meets this girl who's in the musicals, and he's like, "Oh, I'm kind of good at this," and like then his dad was like, "No, you have to do basketball." And then it just ends with him being like, I'm going to do both. And they're all like, okay. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the arc. Like,
this really reminds me actually of Steven Universe.
That show? Never heard of it.
I actually have nothing.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's really funny though.
Sorry for my tirade. I do hate that movie.
That was really fucking funny.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Like, I totally get what you're saying though, where it's just like, that kind of thing can be really frustrating. But that's what I like about Steven Universe. Yeah. Where it's like Lars is like, oh, he's just like a fuckboy that sucks.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to get 2 scholarships. He's just trying to survive.
He's just trying to make some friends with the cool kids and having trouble at that. But yeah, no, good episode. I think that's basically all I have to say.
Anything else would just be dragging this out unnecessarily.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk more about High School Musical.
I'm actually, when you said that, I was like, would it be worth it to watch these now? Would it be funny for me to watch these now?
It would only be funny if we watched them and then like did a thing as we're watching them. It could be one thing,
like a drinking game, or something like that.
Yeah, make a drinking game or like talk and make.
Oh, like watch it passively. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like. I think if you watched it to talk about it and joke about it later, I think you just have a bad time.
No, yeah, that actually sounds like a bad idea. It's really funny. I haven't thought about that in years. Yeah. And like,
my younger cousin, when we babysat, made me watch this other High School Musical movie, but this time it had zombies, but they were cool kids.
Wait, this sounds really familiar.
Yeah, and well, there was a sequel. I was watching the sequel, and the werewolves now were at the high school too.
Oh fuck!
But they're just they're not like, and they're just rivals. They're not enemies.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess.
Yeah, Disney Channel, man. Always gotta have a shtick.
It's really funny how like it feels like we're just doing the same ideas over and over again. It's like just vampires, werewolves. Do it again and again and again until we die.
I do have one more Disney plug before I promise I'll stop, and you guys can stop listening if you want. Why does Disney shows, at least like the 2000s Disney shows, they all had to have like a thing. It couldn't just be like a sitcom. Like, That's So Raven. Oh, she's a psychic. Zach and Cody. Oh, they're twins in this hotel. Phil of the Future. Oh, I'm from the year 2100. The super advanced.
Is that really what that's about?
Yeah.
I never watched any of these.
He's a 22nd century man. Phil of the future.
This is actually...
They all have to have a central hook. Point that Wizards of Waverly Place. They're wizards.
I guess it's literally just like...
Hannah Montana, Secret Life. I could keep going.
I think the only one that works on its premise is Hannah Montana. Because that feels like a real... It feels like there's so much that... Like, my evil, like, marketing... supervillain brain just like
there's a lot you can do.
You can like market so many dolls, and we can have 2 dolls. We can have Hannah Montana and what's her name? Is her name literally just
Miley?
Is her name Miley Cyrus in the show?
Oh shoot, I think it is Miley, but I don't know.
But
I don't think it was Miley Cyrus.
That must really fuck. This other side tangent. That must really fuck you up growing up and like playing a character in a show with your same name and like.
Who's also playing a character in that show. Like,
I feel like that you'd probably have like a weird identity crisis.
I'm sure she did.
I mean, like, look what happened to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was talking about something. Oh no, but yeah, those hooks. I guess it's literally to just get the kids in. Like,
yeah, it's just to give. I guess it's a central point to bounce off of too. But
it's just like they find the one like. It's kind of like the idea of like a high concept movie where it's just like. All right, so we have Raven Simone. She's just a normal girl, but she has a... What does she have, like, psychic?
Like 30 minutes into the future.
Yeah.
No, she could see, like, days and stuff, but... She would just have visions. I'm getting a vision, y'all.
Yeah, and it also makes it easy for a little kid to be like, oh my god, I saw the show where this girl, she could, like, see the future, but she's also, like, has a cool sister, and her brother's a jerk, and...
She had a brother, thank you, and he moved to the White House with his father, and became his father cooked for the president.
Corey
Corey in the house.
Corey is Raven Simone's brother?
Yeah, Corey
What the
was from
fuck?
That's So Raven, and then they spun off and gave him his own show.
Corey in the house.
And him and his dad moved to the White. I have no clue what happened to Raven and the mom, but him and his dad
detained Guantanamo Bay, probably. Wow, I literally never knew that Corey in the House was a spin-off of That's So Raven. That is fucking funny. This is how, I never watched Disney Channel as a kid.
I watched a lot of Disney Channel and have a lot of critiques.
I didn't start watching Disney Channel until I was an adult and Gravity Falls was on it.
As a mid-20s adult, I think I'm the most qualified to talk about Hannah Montana.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're so sorry.
Thank you again so much for listening. We are... Oh, wait, I did the intro already. You
Crystal Man.
Yeah. By the way, we have to do a recording of that one time. I think that'd be fun.
Please, yes.
Because you can play piano, right?
Yes, yeah. I'll play it on the piano.
Yeah, we'll do a little thing on the piano. That'll be fucking awesome. That'll be our new intro, so we don't use PD's theme like we have been. It's a nice track.
No, I mean, it's fine, yeah, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, so you can follow us on Twitter. Well, you can follow the podcast on Twitter. Yes.
I guess you can follow us.
If more people follow us, I will start posting on there regularly. You can follow me on Twitter. I think I put my thing in the description. If I didn't, oops. You can, if you're on YouTube, leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, please do. It's very much appreciated. Oh,
hell yeah. If you're on Spotify, follow us, I think. If you're on Apple, do the other thing. I don't know.
It's pronounced spoofy.
Spoofy. Yeah, just fucking wherever you are, just find us and love us. Actually, I did just remember, not to make this drag this on any longer, we got a comment from a few days ago. Oh, I wanted to bring this up to you. So, this was actually, we record these ahead of time, like in whatever. So this is from a few episodes ago. From our Arcade Mania episode, I think you or I, whatever, made a comment on, like, do we ever see how the house was built? And one of our commenters... Hexon, or it's like H3XON, that's his name. He says, I don't know if you checked the comments, but the time-lapse of Steven's house being built by Greg and the Gems is in the extended opening, which is a season 2 short. Oh. So it was a short. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you. I actually would have never known that, so I'm going to have to go watch that now.
Yeah, and now I just thought, oh shit, we need to make sure we watch all the shorts. So
I didn't even think about the shorts.
We'll make sure we insert those as needed. Maybe we can do just one. I don't know how many there are. But if there are several, then we could just do one episode
talking about all the shorts. We'll do a short discussion.
And like maybe there's actually only that one short. I remember there being a few, so we'll check it out.
Well, anyway, thank you for letting us know, because I would have had no clue.
Yeah, thank you. And that's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Love you.